Jin reminisced, his mind drifting back to the days he had spent in this place. My time at Stormcastle, where I once thought it would be incredibly boring, brought me so much, he mused. In the stream of memories, the image of his dignified father appeared, his eyes holding both recognition and expectation. Then came the moment he received the Phoenix Heart from Mary, his deepening bond with Sister Luna, and the fateful encounter with the great guardian dragon Murakan. All were things he had never dared to dream of in his previous life. Resolute footsteps echoed on the granite floor, pulling Jin back to the reality of the vast, light-filled hall. He was 10 years old. Suddenly, the air around him thickened. Facing Khan, Jin lunged forward, his fist enveloped in a cerulean aura, colliding fiercely with the Guardian's punch. A thunderous explosion erupted, a powerful wave of energy bursting from the impact point, pushing Jin back a step. Amidst the intense sparring, Jin's resolve grew firmer. I have begun preparing to leave Stormcastle and enter the main castle. Khan's sharp eyes remained highly focused, ready for the next attack.
A torrent of blue energy erupted violently as Jin threw a straight punch towards Khan, yet his powerful attack was blocked with astonishing ease. Khan's open hand gently received Jin's fist, absorbing the full impact in an instant. Khan silently watched the young master, a strange glint in his eyes. He mused to himself, just as expected. Meanwhile, Khan stood stunned, clearly sensing the absolute shift in power. No wonder he caught the clan head's attention. Even when training with others, I was the one evaluating, but his gaze showed me that he was the one evaluating my teaching ability. A drop of cold sweat trickled down Jin's temple as Khan's large, imposing figure reflected in his eyes. The invisible pressure almost made him hold his breath. Suddenly, Khan retracted his hand and turned away. His calm, deep voice echoed through the vast hall, where silent weapon racks stood in the shadows. "Let's stop here for today." "Yes, sir," Jin softly replied, his breathing still unsteady. As Khan walked away, leaving Jin standing alone amidst the faint dust, he suddenly called out, "Young Master Jin."
Jin Runcandle suddenly stopped. He turned, looking at his bodyguard with a slightly puzzled expression. Khan bowed respectfully, his voice resonating with reverence. "It has been an honor to teach you, young master, until now. There is not much time left until you must depart Stormcastle, but I promise to exert my utmost effort in training you until the very last moment." Jin remained silent for a moment, his hands unconsciously clenching. After a while, he exhaled softly, responding concisely, "All right." Then a determined smile bloomed on his lips as he looked directly at his mentor. "In that case, I hope for your guidance until then." Afterwards, in a dark room, Jin sat alone. His eyes were wide open, highly focused on his palm. He tried putting his fingertip into the burning candle flame. "Finally," Jin whispered, his face filled with joy and relief. Just then, the creaking sound of the door echoed, cutting across his moment. Gilly's surprised voice rang out from the doorway. "Young master?"
In the luxurious, golden-glowing room, Gilly was packing for the upcoming trip when she suddenly paused, her eyes wide with worry. She watched Jin calmly holding his finger over the flickering candle flame. "Oh my, isn't that hot?" Gilly exclaimed, her voice unable to hide her astonishment. Jin smiled, withdrawing his finger from the flame with composure, showing no signs of a burn. He replied, "Yes, it only feels like warm water now. I'm glad Miss Mary's gift is working wonderfully." Gilly's worry quickly turned into curiosity. She looked at the young master with admiration in her eyes. "I've only heard about the Phoenix Heart, but have never seen its effects. It's truly fascinating." "Me too," Jin replied, his eyes gleaming with confidence and satisfaction. "I think I've absorbed about half of it already. It will take a few more years to absorb it completely." Gilly nodded, turning back to the large open trunk, continuing her packing. She said in a thoughtful tone, "Young master, we will be leaving the castle early tomorrow morning, so if you need anything, please let me know beforehand." "Yes, all right," Jin replied succinctly. Gilly's gaze fell upon two hardcover books placed on the bed. "Young master, should I pack these books?" "Yes, I'll read them in the carriage." "Understood," Gilly said while picking up the books. "Do you need anything else?" Jin looked at Gilly. "Just those books will be fine."
Gilly gently folded the pristine white shirt. I understand. Oh, I'll make strawberry shortcake for young master's snack today. Sitting on the luxurious chair, Jin was about to reply, okay, but then he suddenly stopped as if remembering something important. Ah, that's right. He jumped up from the chair, surprising Gilly, who was holding a stack of clean clothes. Gilly, I'm going out for a walk. Jin hurriedly said, sorry, I'll be right back, then quickly ran off, leaving Gilly looking confused. Quickly donning a black robe, Jin sneaked to another room and quietly opened the door. Murakan? From inside, Murakan turned with a joyful expression. Hey, you're back, kid. Jin entered the room, his face serious. You still remember I'm leaving the castle tomorrow, right? Murakan excitedly replied, of course, you have no idea how long I've waited for this day. Then, Jin went straight to the point. How do you plan to follow me? Murakan smirked confidently, pointing a finger at Jin. Don't worry about such trivial matters, kid. I am the legendary Black Dragon after all.
Murakan puffed out his chest confidently, a triumphant smile on his face. No matter how weak I become, this is nothing. I'll stick to you without anyone noticing. Hearing the words become weak, Jin Runkondel flinched, his voice filled with worry and reproach. You've become weak? Why didn't you tell me about something so important? Murakan merely smirked. You punk, I've been sleeping for 1,000 years without doing anything. Do you think I'd be fine? Jin's eyes lit up with a glimmer of hope as he looked up at his companion. So, can you restore your strength? Of course, Murakan stated firmly as they stood in a room with towering bookshelves. He crossed his arms, a self-satisfied expression on his face. Since I am your guardian dragon, as I grow stronger, you too will become more powerful. So hurry and become a mighty magic swordsman like Temar. Hearing the name Temar, Jin lifted his head, his gaze unusually sharp. You said the Runkondel clan was originally a clan of magic swordsmen, didn't you? I heard that from Solderit in my previous life. In Jin's mind, the memory of Solderit's words appeared vividly, along with the image of a majestic figure enveloped in a stream of mystical blue magical energy. The Runkondel clan originated as a clan of magic swordsmen, and the founding patriarch, Temar Runkondel, was the strongest magic swordsman in history.
Jin quietly contemplated a truth that was now almost forgotten. Standing with his arms crossed amidst the towering bookshelves, Murakan broke the silence, his voice carrying the weight of 1,000 years of history. The reason the current Runkondel clan rejects magic and only pursues the peak of swordsmanship is due to a humiliating oath made 1,000 years ago. He sighed softly, his gaze directed at the sparkling city nightscape. Well, even if they worship me as the clan's guardian deity, I'm sure they would be extremely unwelcome if I actually appeared. If it were 1,000 years ago, suddenly a brilliant golden aura enveloped Murakan. He puffed out his chest, wearing a smile full of self-satisfaction and pride. I'm sure both you and I would be worshipped for bringing the most noble creature to this world. Jin looked up, his expression completely unfazed by the dragon's theatrics. The Runkondel clan, would they really do that? Murakan's excitement immediately deflated. He scratched his head, looking a bit embarrassed. I guess that's a bit unreasonable, huh? Anyway, I'll hide myself very well, so don't worry. Jin smiled faintly. All right, so what do you plan to do with that? Murakan pointed at the empty container, his tone turning serious. Someone will find out when they come to the library and see nothing there. He placed his hand on the container, his confidence returning. I just need to create an illusion with dragonic magic. What if that gets discovered too? Jin asked back, a lingering concern still present.
A menacing black and red aura emanated around Murakan as he grabbed Jin's head. Murakan smirked, his voice filled with smugness. Hey, I'm the Black Dragon, you know. Things like illusions are just child's play, so don't worry. Jin merely gave a faint gulp, then calmly pushed Murakan's hand off his head. The surrounding scenery seemed to vanish, dissolving into an illusory, shimmering blue space as Murakan continued to explain. But as I said, I haven't fully recovered my strength yet, so it won't last long, but I'll try to maintain it for as long as possible until I'm fully mature. As the illusion faded, Jin nodded slightly, a faint smile on his lips. All right, thank you for this. Later, in a cozy room with bookshelves reaching the ceiling, Jin suddenly spoke. Oh, I actually brought you something special today. Something special? Murakan, standing with arms crossed, asked curiously. Jin smiled brightly, pulling a cake and a bottle of wine from his bag. A cake made from the year's first seasonal strawberries, and also some wine that I managed to snatch. Murakan's eyes widened, his mouth agape in astonishment. What?
Murakan, with a wide grin revealing his sharp teeth and sparkling eyes, excitedly raised a bottle of wine. Seeing this, Jin could only sternly warn him, "Don't get drunk and create weird illusions." Hearing this, Murakan immediately placed a hand on Jin's shoulder, his voice full of emotion and excitement. "Who do you take me for, my beautiful child? Raising you was truly not in vain. How about you introduce your nanny to me while you're at it?" Faced with the 1,000-year-old dragon's excessive enthusiasm, sitting amidst delicious strawberry tarts, Jin merely replied softly, "Let me think about it." The scene shifted to the vast courtyard of Stormcastle. Tiny snowflakes began to fall, bringing with them the chill of winter. Gilly was gently adjusting Jin's collar, her eyes filled with worry and fondness. She took his hand, softly advising, "Young master, you cannot expect a quiet and relaxed life like here when you go to the main castle. Of course, you've been busy training here, but it will be much harder there, and you will be much busier. I also won't be able to bake cakes for you whenever you want anymore." Jin looked at the nanny who had cared for him since childhood, his eyes gleaming with determination. "Don't worry, I know that. I will also do my best at the main castle." His promise deeply moved Gilly. She placed a hand on her chest, her voice resolute. "Yes, I will also dedicate myself completely to you." Just then, a voice called out, "Young master!" Before them stood two tall guardian knights, cloaked in blue and wearing imposing armor, waiting with their arms crossed. One of them spoke formally. "Guardian Knights Jerome and Holtz respectfully greet young Master Jin."
In the light snowfall of a chilly late autumn day, two gleaming armored guardian knights bowed before Jin, their resolute voices echoing in the quiet space. "We will escort you safely to the Sword Garden. Let us go." Jin looked up, his youthful face belying an unusually calm gaze. He replied succinctly, "Very well, thank you." Escorted by the knights, Jin and Gilly descended the stone steps covered with a thin layer of ice. His small figure was dwarfed by the tall guardians, yet each step was steady and unwavering. On October 30, 1790, a carriage waited in the castle's inner courtyard. As the war horses neighed, breaking the silence, Jin boarded the carriage. The door closed, separating him from the familiar storm castle. Sitting inside, Jin quietly looked out the window, his gaze firmly fixed forward. "Finally, I'm leaving Stormcastle," he thought, "to go to Runkondle's main territory, the Sword Garden."